Alright, this one is not just celebrity news, this is a real statement about art, power, and freedom. Because Kristen Stewart is not just talking about making a movie overseas, she is openly questioning whether she can even work creatively in the United States anymore. Fresh off her feature-length directorial debut, The Chronology of Water, Stewart has revealed that she deliberately took her first step as a filmmaker out of America and into Europe. Not for tax breaks, not for aesthetics, but because she believes the current political climate in the US is actively limiting artistic freedom. In a recent interview with The Times, Stewart explained that she made her film in Latvia, a country still developing its film infrastructure, because doing it in the States would have been impossible. That is a strong word, and she did not walk it back. According to Stewart, the problem is not Hollywood itself, but the environment surrounding it. She said she simply cannot work freely in a country under the influence of Donald Trump and his administration. For an artist trying to find her voice as a first-time director, that lack of freedom was a deal-breaker. What makes this even more striking is how self-aware Stewart is about her position. She openly admitted that she does not see herself as an established director yet. In her own words, she feels like someone who needs to make a student film. Something raw, imperfect, and experimental. And she does not believe the American system allows for that kind of risk anymore. She described needing a radical detachment from the US filmmaking machine. Not because she hates how movies are made in America, but because the pressure, expectations, and political noise make it impossible for her to start small and honest. Europe, for her, offered space. Space to fail, to learn, and to create without constantly being filtered through ideology or commerce. There is also a very real industry concern driving this decision. Stewart has been openly critical of the idea floated by Trump to impose massive tariffs on foreign-made films. Even though that proposal has not been implemented, she sees it as symbolic of a larger hostility toward international cinema. In her view, those threats alone are enough to damage creativity and collaboration. And here is where Stewart stops being subtle. She made it clear that this move is not just about escape, it is also about making a point. She said she wants to make films in Europe and then force American audiences to confront them. Her words were blunt. She wants to prove that the world does not need Hollywood to tell meaningful stories. That is not something you hear every day from a star who came out of one of the biggest franchises in cinema history. Even more telling is that Stewart does not see this as a temporary experiment. She suggested that relocating to Europe could become permanent. Not because she is giving up on America entirely, but because she no longer believes it is the best place for her to grow creatively right now. This is a major shift, and it reflects a larger pattern we are seeing across the industry. Filmmakers, actors, and creators are increasingly looking beyond Hollywood for freedom, collaboration, and authenticity. Stewart just happens to be one of the biggest names willing to say it out loud. For fans, this raises a big question. Does leaving Hollywood make an artist more honest, or does it risk cutting them off from the audiences they want to reach? Stewart seems to believe the opposite. That distance might actually sharpen the work. Whether you agree with her politics or not, one thing is clear. Kristen Stewart is entering a new phase of her career, one where she is less concerned with approval and more focused on control. And that might be the most radical move of all. So what do you think? Is Kristen Stewart right to leave the US to protect her creative freedom? Or is this an overreaction to politics mixing with art? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if this made you think, and subscribe for more honest Hollywood deep dives.